love you all. Thanks for the videos on this. Got some severe storms that rolled through northern Vermont. It was great to know what to expect. Music to my ears. But yeah, it was crazy. It happened about as forecast. Let's talk a little bit about that. There have been a few instances where National Weather Service offices have had their most tornado warnings in a single day. Records broken this year. Super great. But the day of those severe storms, Buffalo did as well. I think it was like 9. They had 9 separate tornado warnings, the most they've ever had to issue in one day out of the Buffalo office. This correlates really well with the tornado reports. There were 10 different tornadoes reported, seeing EF1, EF0 for a majority of those. The blue dots are high wind reports, and gosh, it correlates so well with where SPC had their concerns. And the flooding, particularly in Barre and Plainfield, Vermont, wasn't really good. I know there have been 2 fatalities from the flooding in Vermont. Both people unfortunately made the decision to drive into floodwaters, one with an ATV and one with a car, and both perished. Turn around, don't drown. I cannot tell you how important this is. Flooding causes more fatalities than any of the other types of weather combined. So don't be worried about tornadoes and hurricanes and high winds and all that kind of stuff. Like, stay away from floodwaters, people, please. 6 inches of rain fell in the hardest hit locations, which were the exact places that were hit hardest exactly last year. That's a lot of exactlies. Parts of New York saw over 4 inches of rain, and there were places in New Hampshire that had flash flooding as well, like areas around Littleton and those surrounding communities. So for those wondering, how are you guys doing, like in Montpelier, for example, with your rainfall? The red line is the lowest on record. That would be 2003. The blue line is the highest on record. That would be 2011. And the brown is the normal trend line. And you actually see the green, the actual what's going on right now, is pretty close to the brown actual trend line, a little bit above right now, especially after these most recent rains. But generally speaking, trending pretty close to normal. I know it doesn't necessarily feel that way. Here's how things are in Manchester, New Hampshire. So the red, the lowest year is 2016 here. The highest is 2006. So a little bit further above the trend line here, but still not at a record year yet, though. Look at where we were standing in the spring. We were then. Trying to hit just a few locations kind of far apart. This is Worcester, so the lowest year here is actually 1941 and the highest is 1972. And so giving that highest year a little bit of a run for its money. Hartford, similar situation where the lowest year is 1985, the highest year is 1972. Seeing we're definitely above average and flirting with a very high precipitation year. I'm looking at the Portland area, lowest 1941 and highest 1979, slightly above average. If you want to find your weather graph, here's how you do it. All right, so we're going to go to weather.gov. You're going to click on the map here where you are located. When you do, there's going to be a climate and past weather tab. You're going to go ahead and just click that. And then this gives you a whole list of towns and locations. So I'll go ahead and say Manchester. I'm going to say accumulation graphs. I'm doing it for the whole year. It defaults to that. You can just start there, click go, and bada bing, bada boom. There's your weather graph showing your rainfall. As for what we can expect today and through the weekend and early next week, hot, humid conditions continue. A stalled front lingers near the coastline, and weak low pressure is going to bring some moisture into the areas tonight and on Saturday as well. We'll go into a little bit more detail of that later today. I'll show you the forecast radar projections and stuff like that. Drier conditions Sunday with a weak area of high pressure. Nice. Humidity returns by early next week. Yay. As the high moves offshore. And then for weeks now, the forecast models at the very end of the run have shown a strong cold front coming through and cooling everything off and drying everything out. This is the first time I've seen NWS keep it in their discussion. So they say a stronger cold front has the potential to bring noticeably drier air for late next week. So they're starting to see some confidence in it, which is pretty good. We'll be taking a look at that a little bit later. So look for another video later this afternoon, and we'll update and show you all this forecast information.